What's up everybody, Joe from Mojo Break Gaming here. Today I have an exciting build for BT9 BlackWarGreymon slash Gaiomon. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this build. I'll talk about some of the strategy and why certain cards and why they're in this deck and why some other cards are not in this deck. I think that's also very important. So starting off, we've got the 4 Cormon here. We have the BT9 version where it gives you that 1000 buff, and a lot of times in this format is you're going to want to be a very strong body, especially if you're swinging into security. You kind of want to be over 16k as much as possible, so getting that extra 1000 buff is kind of needed. I don't run a 5th egg because I just want to see the consistency of the Cormon buff. You could run the BT5 Cormon that gives you that draw when you swing if you feel like you need to get more into your draws. So that's what I'll run for this build, is just the 4 Cormon there. Another 4 cards that I'm going to be running are the Agumon. So here are the level 3s. Here's the first batch that I have. It's the promo Agumon. Again, this helps you for the same reason that I mentioned about Cormon, helping you get stronger to swing over bodies. That's really what it comes down to. Swinging over bodies, swinging over security, and just getting you really strong in case you need to take care of some stuff. It also helps for your level 4s and your level 5s should you need to swing with them. Agumon does a really nice job at getting you that buff. So for those, he's a crucial piece of this deck. Also, we're going to go ahead and run 4 of the Agumon BT5s. This one is just a good searcher. He helps you get your Greymon or Omnimon if you find it in the deck. So here goes our next 4. It's going to be the Antibody Agumon. I really like the Antibody Agumon just for the reason that he can digivolve off of the 3s, and you can kind of get those 2-3 stacks. Should you need to use the Greymon level 4 inherent effect, where you have to remove 2 sources of the same level to protect them from being deleted, this Agumon is a really good card for that. Since there's no inherent effects, he can just, get you that nice protection. So Agumon's good for that. He also has a really nice effective on play on digivolve. He just searches for another Greymon or Omnimon. We don't use the X Antibody, even though you can do that with him. We don't run X Antibody in this deck, and we'll kind of explain the reason why we don't run X Antibody in this deck. 12 level 3s. You're welcome to kind of adjust what you feel is better if you feel like you're breaking too much on 3s. Next up, we're going to go ahead and go into 3 level 4 Greymons from BT5. This one's really nice because he gets you that 1 Evo should you need to push up. He's also really nice for the inherent effect, getting that 2000 buff. And it's like this whole concept of trying to get strong so you can swing over stuff is really important. And so this guy kind of just helps you get there, especially if you can't find this Agumon. He's just a nice backup guy, so you can have Cormon and him rather than just having him. Greymon's a nice find. So we go with 3 for now. We're up for debate if we want to keep 3, go down to 2. I'll kind of explain why. Because of this card right here. This is a really beautiful card to have on your build because he is your blocker. We don't run blockers in this deck, so he's going to be your only way to kind of get you that block should you need it, to keep yourself alive in a match, or kind of just protect you from those little guys trying to poke at you, etc. I would consider upping this one to 4 and then downing this one to 2 for that reason that it's just so good. It counts as a Greymon, so you can digivolve into this card on top of that. So you go back into your red. So you go in the black, then you go into the red, and then that opens up your 5 opportunities because you wouldn't have to worry about digivolving off of a black level 4. This guy will take care of you. He'll go back to red, and you'll have the black in the inherent in the digivolution sources, which also contributes to the level 6s in this deck. So we also run the 4 antibodies for the reason that he's 0 off of Greymon, and it's probably the most important effect in this deck. One of the most important effects. It's that it basically protects you from being deleted or removed to hand or deck. So he protects you from Cocytus, he protects you from Megadeth, he protects you from Gaia Forces, just anything, any Digimon that were to delete level 6s or delete things with the lowest play cost, lowest level, etc. This guy is your insurance. Keep your big stack alive for another turn. So here goes our next playset. This is going to be the level 5s. Metal Greymon BT8. This is a self-explanatory one if you guys are familiar with BlackWarGrey. If not, he's really good because he digivolves His Digivolve effect is really, really freaking strong. And he's a black and a red, which is even more important too. He de-digivolves 1, which kind of sets your opponent back, and then he can also pop something 3000 or less. The downside to him is that 4 evo, because sometimes you'll find yourself at 3 and you're almost always passing turn if you're evoing into the 4. His inherent effect is probably even better too. Like, the de-digivolve effect is good, the deleting effect is good to just be there. The inherent effect to attack unsuspended Digimon if you have Dragonkin or Machine, which you're always going to have for your level 6s in this build, so it's always going to pop up. The downside is the 4. The 4 is a really, really big, struggle sometimes, but we have a solution for that. Next up, we're going to run 3 of the Metal Greymon antibodies. This one digivolves 0 off of Metal Greymon, so you go here, then you go here, so you get another draw. And if you do digivolve off of Metal Greymon, which is almost all the time, you get security +1 plus 3000 buff. And if you do need to swing over some stuff, you actually can get this guy up to like 14 to 16,000 DP if you have the right stacks and stuff like that. So Metal Greymon is a very, very nice card should you need to just swing over stuff before you back into the 6, if that's your strategy. Next up, we're gonna run 1 Altarius mode. I forgot, yeah, 1 Altarius mode. He is the promo one. He digivolves if you have a tamer in play, delete something 5000 or less, which is really, really good, especially if you can de-digivolve with Metal Greymon. Go into him because he also digivolves 0 from Metal Greymon. And then so you can trigger that effect should you have a tamer, which is really, really nice. And then he also gives you that inherent effect similar to that level 4 Greymon, which is really, really nice. That gives you an extra set of protection if you can have that stack. He is a 1 of, so we're not going to see him all that much. And the reason why he's only a 1 of is because we just need room for the other guys. Like, he's really, really good. I would say he's more important than having more of him. Moving on into the level 6s, we're going to run 4 BlackWarGreymons. We're running 4 for the reason that we're just experimenting. There's honestly, if we really need 4 BlackWarGreymons, it's really, really good when it shows up, and it's very, very effective to pop tamers. I think I do this a lot when I'm popping those 3-cost tamers, or if I'm popping a 4-cost tamer. If you need to do Digimon, then sure. But a lot of times is you want to look at those tamers if you can't delete those tamers. Sometimes you're gonna get into a situation where you do need to pop the Digimon instead, but that's okay. He gets that pop effect, which is nice, and then he'll unsuspend should you need to. So if you were to swing with this guy, you can unsuspend with BlackWarGreymon should you pop something off of his Digivolve effect. That's 6 costs or less. Next up, it's a BlackWarGreymon Gaiomon build. So that's what we talked about. Gaiomon is your really, really, really good Digimon. Sometimes I kind of want to see 4 of him and then maybe down him to 3, because I feel like Gaiomon is sometimes more important in situations. He's got de-digivolve if there's a black source, and then he also has Blitz, because a lot of times is you're building up and you're gonna swing with this guy anyways when you pass turn. Blitz is your guy. He basically takes care of X antibody. That's essentially what X antibody is. When you swing digivolve and you're swinging for that Digimon instead, that's what Blitz is. So he takes away X antibody in this deck for that reason, which I'm totally okay with. X antibody doesn't work with BlackWarGrey anyways, so that's fine too. And so yeah, we might up this guy to 4 and then down him to 3 and then maybe adjust it from there. Here goes our 7. It's going to be just 1 Blitz Omni for this game, because a lot of times is we're just going to be focusing on this guy because we really want this effect over this sometimes, and we really just need him for game. And so he's your game piece. Also, he'll protect you in this deck, because if you have, let's say this is a BlackWarGrey and then you have Gaiomon, you can trigger that effect twice. Just remove one, and then he's still alive, which is kind of good sometimes too. Next we're going to run is 4 Nokias. That's why we have a solution for that Metal Greymon level 4 Evo. If I have a Nokia on the field, I can just reduce its cost down to however many Nokias I have and just basically keep my turn alive. And I think if I can keep my turn alive, if I de-digivolve something, maybe I can swing over it because I'm stronger than it now, and Metal Greymon, and then maybe I can go into the Altarius, I'm sorry, the antibody Metal Greymon, Digivolves 0 off of that Metal Greymon, and now I get that buff, and then I got the inherents, and then I can really do some damage to my opponent. Nokia will help me keep my turn alive. She's also really good at getting checked in security. She's also really good at getting your Agumons down and playing a tamer at the same time. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Nokia. I've always been a big fan of Nokia, so finding her a home in this deck felt really nice, so I'm happy with Nokia. Anyways, next tamers I've got are the 2 heroes. Again, this is always, again, talking about to that, circling back to the beginning of this video, is the theme of just being able to swing over stuff. Sometimes you don't have the right inherent effects. Sometimes you have that BlackWarGreymon and a BT5 Agumon and only that one Cormon, and sometimes that's not enough to swing over stuff. Hero is basically like another way to protect yourself and making sure you can get those swings over it. You can alternatively run the 2 ties from BT1, which gives you that security +1, which might be another good aggro style of build. But I think with the hero style, I really like just swinging over stuff and clearing their board. So they have to reset up and you know, and do their thing all over again. So next up, I'm going to red memory boost. This is just another way to search. It's also a good way to gain memory should I need to keep my turn alive. I only run 2 in this deck because sometimes I'm not really focused on just playing the boost. I'd rather just evo into stuff and getting draws that way. So red boost just 2. He's nice if he gets checked in security anyways, so I go with the 2 red boosts there. And then next up I go with 3 Gaia Force because I want to also see this card in security rather than playing it. I don't really like to play my Gaia Force unless I feel like I have no other choice but to play it. But Gaia Force is just really nice to kind of just eliminate something off the field if it gets checked in security. So upping it to 3 gives a better chance of you finding it in securities. And here's another card that I think is kind of just a curveball. It's going to be Rowdy Rocker. Rowdy Rocker also gets this effect going should I need to, if I have the wrong kind of stack that I have built and I want to, you know, rebuild the stack and not have to like make a new Digimon. Rowdy Rocker kind of protects me. And then I also get draw 2 if I can do that effect, which is really nice. Another good side note card to also bring up is Congo. Congo is something that protects you against chaos degradation. They play chaos degradation, or if I check that into security with my Gaiomon, if I play Congo to pass turn and they play chaos degradation, my Gaiomon would be protected by that. And it also prevents them from swinging with any of their Digimon that are play costs of 7 or less. So Congo kind of stalls the game a little bit, and that's kind of what I would like too, since I'm not such an aggro deck. So Rowdy Rocker or Congo would be another option right there at the end. So that's kind of how I've built the deck. Let me know your guys' thoughts, what you guys think of the build. Where would you guys do things differently, and what kind of strategy are you going for with the Gaiomon deck? Hopefully this kind of helps you out, set a foundation of building your Gaiomon deck. I encourage you guys to just try this build out. Maybe if you're just really not sure, try this build out, see what you like, see what you don't like, and then adjust here and there accordingly. Comment down below your guys' thoughts, and we're going to be making more deck builds in the future. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see y'all in the next video. Take care. Bye.